Hi there, welcome back. This is Manu here. Today we're going to start a new series called English for Negotiations. This is not a negotiation skills class or program or package or whatever. This is the English bit of negotiations. So we presume that you already know how to negotiate well in your mother tongues. Alright? So this is English. So in today's video, we're going to look at four things. We're going to see what is negotiations, why you need negotiations, what are the problems that people face while negotiating in a foreign language. Foreign language here because obviously English is not your native tongue. It's not your mother tongue, it's not your first language. It is a foreign language for you. So we'll look at some of the things on the foreign language bit as well. And then we'll also tell you what is the objective of learning this course. What's going to be your takeaways. This is just the opening video. So watch this video till the end to know what we have in store for you. I'm not going to give you the course outline in this video, but you'll certainly know a lot more. But this is just a warm-up, so stay with me. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well. See, only about 4% of the people subscribe to my channel, 4% of the people who watch my videos. That's really sad. Do subscribe to my channel as well. And like the videos if you like it, and share them as well. Let's start. What is negotiation? Negotiation actually means there are two people with some differences, and they come together and they settle those differences without arguments. That's very important. No arguments. And you also give more, take less. Maybe you give 5 and take 4. You leave 1 there. Everyone leaves 1, then there'll be a surplus and people are going to be happy. They say, all right, you take that. And they'll be divided amicably. But you have the 4 with you. So that is give and take. Give more, take less. Always leave a surplus on the table. Now, lots of people say that negotiation is actually a compromise. Do you think so? Well, practically, I say negotiation is not a compromise. And I'll tell you how. You have some objectives. You want A, B, C, D, E. The other person also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, it's not necessarily that you will have a one-to-one mapping of these objectives. It's not necessary at all. So, in fact, there'll be certain objectives of yours that will be harmful to the other party. And the other way around also. His objectives, what he's trying to achieve, could harm you as well. So you don't want that. You don't want your harmful things. So what do? You say, all right, I give this one up. He gives that one up. And then you give something that he wants that is more valuable to him, not valuable to you. And you take something that's more valuable to you, not valuable to him. So in this way, you arrive at a meeting point. It's not a compromise. Because what is compromise? Compromise leads to a zero-sum game. That's most dangerous. What is zero-sum game? 2 people, one person gets plus 100%, therefore the other person gets minus 100%. So plus 100, minus 100, 0. We don't want that because one party is a loser. We want both to win. So if this party comes with 100, this party comes with 100, he takes away 75, he takes away 75, total is 150. That is a win-win negotiation. Instead of 0, you have 150. And maybe that is going to add up to maybe 250, 350, 450, I don't know. And this is not just maths. So what are some of the examples of negotiation, by the way? We always negotiate, don't we? I mean, you go to the open market, for instance, in a place like Sarojini Nagar. You buy your T-shirts and trousers, etc. over there. You bargain, right? That's not really a bargain, that's haggling. In the open market, you haggle with them. But that's also a kind of negotiation. How much is that? 500 rupees. Okay, give it to me for 200. No, I'll be 400. All right, I'll give you 250. No, it's 350. So that's a kind of coming close together. There'll be a meeting point and say, all right, take it. But that's haggling, a kind of negotiation. What are the other areas of negotiations? Well, we know purchase and sales in any business house, any business unit, business organization. Then there'll be some disputes, employee disputes. I got my dispute with my neighbor, my colleague. So I don't punch him on his nose. We sit together and negotiate. Okay, this is my problem. This is your problem. Okay, I can do this. I can do this. You are actually negotiating to come at an agreement, a reasonable agreement. That's negotiation. And this is also used for forming partnership deals, business partnerships, etc. Which therefore brings us to the question, why do we need to learn negotiations? We just saw that, right? Settling disputes. But it's not just settling disputes. You avoid conflicts, you strengthen the relationships, and you can very easily turn these tense disputes into productive negotiations and keep and maintain real strong relationships. So you end up with strong relationships, you deliver everlasting solutions, and this helps avoid future disputes as well. So let's look at a typical scenario of negotiation. Personally, I think there are 6 points that we need to take care of. I'd like to know what you think about this as well. You've got to be courteous. You've got to interact constructively to lead to a win-win situation, not a zero-sum game. You give more, take less. You give what means a lot to the other person, not necessarily that much to you. And similarly, you take the other way around as well. Your idea should be to foster goodwill between the two of you, not ill will. And these negotiations should never be based on race or gender or caste or creed or religion. No, please. Man-to-man business negotiations. All negotiations are business negotiations, by the way, even with your own wife or husband. And when you leave the negotiation table, this is the last point, you should leave with a sweet taste in your mouth, as I say, ready to do business with the other person or other people. Now, we are learning English for negotiations. So English is a foreign language to most of us. So what are some of the problems that we could face while negotiating in a foreign language? See, first of all, it's a question of comprehension, comprehensibility. Can you understand what the other person is saying? Is that person able to understand what you are saying? You have problems with not knowing the right words, not getting the right words at the right time. You don't know the right words. The words that you use, the expressions that you use could mean something else in that person's language. And if the other person is not an English speaker, you're an English speaker, but you've got to be careful there as well, so that you don't give wrong impressions to the other person. That could break down the negotiations. Then there's the thing about cultural differences. Terrible. In some countries, like in Japan, for instance, when they give you the calling card, they give it both the hands like this. You have to be aware of that. In some cases, they simply give you the card like this with the card handling down, They hold the top of the card and they give it to you so that you can read the name straight away without taking it and then reading it. So, different cultures. But thing about culture is, if you are true to your culture and humanity and in general, human considerations, you don't really have to worry about this or this. That's a strong thing. So, cultural training, please, I don't believe in that. For me, it's a load of rubbish. Just a money minting course. But there are certain things that we can do to, bring down the friction over there. You got to avoid slangs. Be patient. The other person might not understand you. You may not understand that person. So there's a lot of patience. It's very time consuming. You might want to bring in an interpreter, your own interpreter, so that you can understand that person. And when you create documents, you have to create documents in both the languages so that that person can understand that in his language, you in your language, and give them the written communications, a written copy of all communications that you have. Don't presume that they've understood it and they've internalized everything. And always seek clarification every time. I mean, if you don't understand them, ask them, sorry, could you please repeat that? I didn't quite understand you. I didn't quite catch that. So never assume what they say. They may use some weird expressions that you might understand it differently, and that could result in a breakdown of communication and therefore of negotiations. So even if you learn in English, you're speaking with the foreigners, if you don't understand what they're saying, stop them straight away. Excuse me, could you hold that for a moment, please? I didn't understand what you said just now. What did you mean by this? Ask them. They love to explain it because they want a deal to go through. Presumptions are really irritating, to say the least. So what are the objectives of this program, this English for Negotiations program? I'm going to give you 5 of them. Here they are. You learn the stages of negotiation. You learn the useful language, expressions, vocabulary used at each stage. You learn to give the required importance to the words and concepts you put forward. You learn to emphasize your points correctly without sounding rude. And you learn to be assertive and not aggressive. So that is very important. Be assertive, never be aggressive. So all those earlier 4 points are towards learning how to be assertive and not aggressive in English. You may be assertive in your mother tongue. How to be assertive in English? When we tell you that, when somebody tells you, this is the way you speak, I do that in my mother tongue. Yes, you do. It's just that English is a foreign language to you. So that's a warm-up. In the next video, we're going to look at starting the negotiation skills course. How to get going with negotiations. So what do? I'll give you a small hint. See, negotiation, right? 2 people meet at one place. What's the first thing you do? You greet. You introduce yourselves. And the different things that you do during this greeting and introduction. And we're going to learn all those things in the next video. See you then. Bye-bye.